and I hope that you're well. So today's recipe is a double Tarka Daal and Chawal recipe, which is basically a simple but very tasty rice and dal recipe. It's a vegan recipe and it's one that we often eat at home. So let's begin with the ingredients.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. Like Faye has already shared, it's double tadka dal chawal for today. Dal or lentils that we are using is yellow lentils in English and bagair chilke ke moong wali dal in Urdu, and we'll be using long grain basmati rice to go with it. So it's 1 cup of yellow lentils or bagair chilke ke moong wali dal, 1 cup of rice. The spices that will go in this recipe, about 3/4 teaspoon of red chili powder, which is to your taste. You can use slightly more or slightly less. I might be using 1 teaspoon, but 3/4 is a good flavor for this recipe. About half teaspoon of turmeric powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of coriander powder, and 1/4 to half teaspoon of Garam Masala, which I'll be sprinkling during the later stage once the lentils are almost ready. For tadka, I'll be using double tadka, so it's not going to be double oil. I'll divide the oil for tadka into 2 sections. One, I'll be using the onion for tadka, so we'll be using about half an onion, or slightly more is all right as well. So the second tadka we'll be doing would be garlic, black onion seeds, which is kalonji in Urdu, or Nigella seeds again in English, and cloves, and whole dried red chilies. They come in different sizes. I'll be using these ones. You can also use the small round ones or the small size ones. They come in different shapes. It's all right to use whichever is handy to you. Couple of green chilies, whole green chilies. I can either split or chop them into small pieces, would be going in tadka as well. Then on the top layer would be garnish of garam masala and fresh coriander leaves. So let's get started with our cooking now.
So let me begin by explaining what I've been doing so far to prepare this recipe. So in this pan I have the yellow lentils or the split moong dal. I've washed this thoroughly before I've used it, just to help take away any of the starch. So then I've added it to a pan. This is the 1 cup of yellow lentils. And added about 4 to 5 cups of water. I've also let the starch gather to the top, which I've removed with a spoon. It's like a white foam, similar kind of texture. Just remove all of that so it's nice, gives you a nice texture and flavour to your dal. So now that it's begun to the water's reduced a little bit, I'm just waiting for the form to come together, which I'll explain to you in a little while. But this has been cooking for probably about 45 minutes on a sort of low to medium heat, just simmering, similar to what you can see here. So just cooking nice and slowly. And then also I've had a cup of rice with some water in it, just to let it soak. So just something similar to this, but I will also wash that and prepare that a little bit later. So the dal has been cooking for probably about an hour on a low heat. So what's started to happen is the lentils are beginning to break down a little bit, so it's beginning to get that texture we want, and also the starch has stopped gathering on the top, and because the water has reduced, it's going to be time to add the spices. But what I would just advise for you is to keep adding just a little drop of water, giving it a little mix now and again, because it does need some cooking still, and we don't want it to dry out too much and start sticking to the bottom. So let's now move on to the spices. So I'm going to be adding the red chilli powder. I'm just going to sprinkle that evenly. The turmeric. And the coriander powder. I'm just going to mix that in. And I'm just going to keep an eye on it as it cooks for a little while longer now. Nearly forgot the salt, which is pretty important. I'm using 1 teaspoon of salt, but this is totally to your taste, so just add as much as you'd like. So I'm also just going to quickly mix that in with the other spices we added. So while the dal is cooking away, we thought we'd have a little competition who can make the best paper aeroplane. So, our own designs. We just you used to make these a lot, didn't you?
Yeah.
I didn't really make these. But Ahmed did show me how he made his a little while ago. But this is what lockdown has done to us. Oh, I can't remember how I did it now. Whose do you think will be better? What's your plane going to be called? What airline is your plane?
It's more of a fighter jet.
Do they serve tea on your aeroplane? No.
Fighter jet.
Well, they might do. They might have a little cup holder.
Who are they? It's probably just one person.
Mine's taking us to a nice holiday destination. Somewhere
in the corridor.
somewhere in the corridor, but in my head would be a nice golden beach. I know which plane I'd rather get in. Although let's see actually who arrives at the destination. Can't remember how I did it now. Oh, wait, that bit. That way.
So, British engineering is not working. Pakistani fighter jet is ready.
Oh, what's happened to mine? Damn it.
Okay, I'm going to fly mine.
Oh! This we've been dreaming of getting to a beach.
Wait.
Is it the wrong
This
way?
is the line you follow.
Is it right?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a bit
Rubbish.
weird design, but
It will get there, There we go. Okay. Let's go fly these in our corridor.
what is an airplane?
So, moment of truth. Whose is better? British engineering, Pakistani engineering?
Okay, go on. That landed.
Mine took a wrong direction. Okay, again. I think yours did actually get further. not at its finest.
Okay, I'll do it from this side.
I think your plane's a bit better.
You can try flying mine.
Oh yeah, let's
see if it's you or the plane.
Oh, that is a nice one. This is what lockdown's done to us. I think something's wrong with mine.
You can try once more. It's rubbish.
So back to cooking now. I'm just going to prepare the onion, which will go on top of the dal, the tarka. For the onion, you need to be able to cut it into very fine slithers. So it's important just take your time and do it as finely as possible. So I'm only using half an onion, but I'm hoping to get quite a lot of sort of individual cuts of the onion as possible. And then I'm also going to do a similar thing with the garlic and the finely chop the coriander as well. I've moved on now to the garlic. I'm just cutting them into small little pieces just like this, so just do them as thin as possible. This is so far, I'm on my third garlic clove now.
Okay, just to let you know the progress on our lentils, they have been cooking, rather simmering on very low heat for about 1 hour 15 minutes, 1 hour 20 minutes. It can vary slightly, but roughly it is about 1 hour 15 minutes for us. So you see water has formed on top, and if I just take this water, the water is nicely colorful, flavorful water. So that means the lentils have completely broken down. It's a similar texture to that of a smooth soup. So these lentils should be very, very finely dissolved in the solution for them to be ready for the tarka stage. So I think it's we have a nice smooth texture now, and we'll move on to the tarka stage. Okay, if you see, I have two pans here. I've just switched on the heat, medium low, just for them to warm up. I add oil to both the pans, and this oil is for tarka. So this is for onions, and the small pan is for everything else. So from this point onwards, it's still on simmer on the minimum heat, these lentils. What I'll do now is, because oil is on heat, I'll switch on the heat for this pan. This will still keep simmering, and I have lid handy on the side. As soon as I do the tarka, the lid would go on, and I would let the whole thing rest with the lid on. Heat is switched off for about 10 minutes, and rice has been soaked in water for about over an hour now. And if they have been soaked for this long, they just take 10 minutes to cook, and then 5 to 10 minutes on dum. So if Faye can kindly prepare the rice now, she'll just wash it and add fresh boiling water to the rice and put it on heat and let it cook. So let's move on with tarka. So you can see both the pans. I'll start with onions first. They take a bit longer than rest of the things. You can see it has already started to sizzle because the oil is hot. This is a copper pan, so I'll have it on low heat. It's already hot so that it retains heat really well. So I'll be adding those ingredients a bit later once I see the color coming on these onions. So I'll keep it on a minimum heat for now. So this is the reason we call this dal double tadka. So there's two sections of tadka which will be going in, then some garnish would be going on top as well. It's alright to do one tadka as well, but this technique does improve taste a lot. And if you try to do one tadka with onion seeds in there, there's a good chance that you'll burn the onion seeds. So it's always a good idea to have onions in one tadka and onion slightly delicate items in another pan for a separate tadka. So Faye has very finely chopped this onion into nice slithers, very fine slithers. So hopefully once it gets a nice brown color, it will go in the lentils. So if you are able to see, slight water has formed on top. So what happens is lentils, when they're simmering, they're not on heat now, but the hob is still slightly warm. So that starts to settle down and the water comes as a top layer, and water is all colorful with the spices and the dissolving lentils. So if the water is on top, it will take tadka very nicely. And the red chili powder, coriander powder and turmeric powder which is in there, what tadka would do is roast them, fry them immediately it touches that water. So all the spices which are in there would get fried with the tadka. That's why tadka is very important. Okay, Faye has washed the rice and taken all the starch out. So we'll start cooking the rice now. So this is the cup I used to measure rice. So it was 1 cup of rice. So I'll be adding 25% more water. This is boiling water. And 1 1/4 cup. So that has gone in. It's on low medium heat at the moment. Lid is on and I'll let it cook for 10 minutes. Halfway through I'll turn it to low heat. Thank you. Let me take over the tadka now. Thanks. So the onions, they're getting nice color. What we are aiming for is medium brown color, and that's the time when we transfer this tadka, which is both oil and onions, to this pan. So almost there, just some onions which I can do with a little bit more frying. When this color goes very nice as soon as they go in tadka on top of this water layer. They get a very nice texture and they become very soft. So it's very important to give them a little color. Okay, so I'm happy with this. So this is going in. if you can just put the lid on, and I'll do the second one. Okay, so for second tadka, the first thing going in would be garlic, because they need a little more time than rest of the items. Second would be dry whole red chilies. Okay, so let me get hold of. No, thanks. So if you see, they've already started to get little color around the edges, so these two dry chilies have been added just for them to get a little fried. And now I'll be adding the whole green chilies, the chopped green chilies. That's gone in, and now it's time to add some Nigella seeds. So that's the tadka ready. It's everything in, so the lid goes back on. And that's the tadka done. Okay, so this has been resting since tadka. It's been 5 minutes. This has been cooking for 5 minutes, and I've just reduced the heat to a low heat because the water, I don't know if you can see or not, the water has reduced. Now they're just swelling. So at this stage it should be minimum heat. So 5 more minutes for this to cook, then the heat would be switched off, and this rice would be rested on dum for 5 to 10 minutes. At this stage I sometimes add a little olive oil to it as well, which gives it a nice aroma along with couple of cardamoms, and it prevents the rice from sticking to the base as well. So I'll just add a little bit of olive oil and a couple of cardamoms. It's optional, so it's up to you. Okay. Just half teaspoon of this. Put the lid back, please. Okay, so I've just switched off heat under rice. If you can see the rice which is sticking to the lid, they look well swollen, they look done. So the heat has been switched off. It's been exactly 10 minutes, and I'll leave them to rest on dum for 5 to 10 minutes more. So this has been resting for 10 minutes now, and it's time for me to garnish it with fresh coriander leaves and garam masala. So let's do that. That's garam masala on the top and fresh coriander leaves. It smells so nice and it looks so colorful. You can see onion seeds, fresh burgundy color of those dried chilies on a layer of yellow. It looks so beautiful, so tempting to eat, and I think we're getting really hungry.
So while the rice is on dum, I'm just preparing a kachuma salad, which is basically a salad using cucumber, tomato and onion, and this is just quite a nice fresh salad to have for something like dal. I've just soaked the onions in some cold water. It just kind of helps take that sting out. But yeah, it's starting to smell really nice and I'm getting rather hungry now.
So while Faye is preparing cucumber salad, I'm just going to spoon out some lentils.
It smells amazing.
Yeah. So when spooning out these lentils, what I try to do is get just the lentils to go as a lower layer, and I try to put all the tadka on top. It looks very nice that way, and it tastes very nice as well. So now I'll try to pick the tadka and have it in the lentils.
Oh yes, that looks so nice.
Okay, so it's very nice and tempting and beautiful colors with tadka and the yellow color of lentils. Nice and fluffy rice.
It smells
Can't wait to taste.
so nice. Like, this is my idea of like absolute comfort food. If I had to choose some food to eat forever, it would be dal and rice. This just is me.
I think this dal has been very special to us, and we love making this lentils, and yeah, it goes very nice with white rice.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Let's dig in.
would you like to try?
Yes.
Okay, should I just transfer some here?
Sounds good.
So if you can see, it's full of flavor and textures.
The colours are beautiful. The smell, oh, it's lovely. I can just tell this is going to be so nice.
And should I
Yeah,
get some onions and
chili,
chilies?
garlic, yeah. Yummy. That is yummy.
It's very nice. I added 1 teaspoon of salt. I think we might add a tiny bit more, maybe a couple of pinches. That's the thing with salt. If you think it's slightly less, you can always add more. It's never a good idea to add lots in the cooking.
Definitely. The rice is so fluffy, which is lovely, and then you've just got the most rich flavour coming from that dal. You want something like simple, like rice, just to kind of just allow you to really taste all the flavours, all the spices in the dal. And then with a little bit of salad just for some freshness. Oh yeah, put some lime on, that's really good too.
Let's have some salad with it.
Yeah, go for it. And those caramelised onions give like a little sweetness. It just ties in so beautifully together. Absolute comfort food. Summer, winter, dal and rice is just a winner.
Yeah.
Right, so we're just gonna sit here and eat this. We really hope that you've enjoyed this video and maybe taken something from it. Maybe perhaps you would like to try and prepare this yourself. So yeah.
Maybe next time she can show you how she made her plain.
Oh,